Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to solve equations, which is a lot of this is review from last year and a little bit from the year before. And we're going to look at some new situations that involve answers that are not nice, neat whole numbers or integers. Okay, so the first couple of examples are review. You have in example 1, you're trying to get the variables on one side of your equation and the numbers on the other. So you have an n here and an n here. Adding n to both sides would move the n from the right side, the minus n, to the left and give you 2n. And now I bring down everything on the rest of the line. And then I would want to move my numbers to the opposite side, so I would subtract 2 on both sides. And this would give me 2n equals negative 16. I would divide both sides by 2 now to isolate n, and n equals negative 8. All right, so you're solving for the variable by isolating the variable. In example 2, if you have what are called like terms, you would try to combine your like terms first. So I have negative 14 can be combined with positive 7. That would give me negative 7. I also have positive 6b can be combined with negative 2b, and that would give me positive 4b. Just erase that. Positive 4b. So if it comes out to be a positive, I write plus. If it comes out to be a negative, I write minus. And I bring down the rest of the equation. So now my goal is to get the b's on one side and the numbers on the other. I'm going to try to get the b's on the right side, because if I subtract 4b from both sides, then I will end up with a positive 1b. I'm going to bring down everything else. And then I'll bring the numbers. So when I got 1b, I wrote b. Okay, instead of 1b. The 1 is invisible. And I'm going to bring the numbers to the left side, so I'm going to subtract this 1. So b is now isolated on the right side, and I have negative 8. b equals negative 8. Okay, in example 3, we have the distributive property. The distributive property is where you multiply the number on the outside with the numbers on the inside. So I'm going to take the 4 on the inside of the parentheses, and I'm going to distribute or multiply it. 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times negative 3n is negative 12n. I'm going to bring everything else down in the equation that I didn't use, and I'm going to combine like terms. So I have negative 2n can be combined with negative 12n, and that's going to give us, I'm going to bring these down, and that's going to give us negative 14n plus 4. And then I'm going to try to get my n's onto one side of the equation, so I'll add 14n to get them to the left side. That will give me 8n minus 20 equals 4. And then I'm going to add 20 to get the numbers on the right side. I have 8n equals 24. And now I just divide by 8, n equals 3. Okay, again, this is all review from last year. So what we're going to look at now is situations where your answers are going to be fractions. So let's look at example 4. In this example, I have the distributive property again. So I'm going to distribute, meaning I'm going to multiply into the parentheses. I have negative 3x. Be careful, negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Plus 8x minus 24 equals 8x minus 11 plus x. I'm going to combine like terms. I have negative 3x can be combined with positive 8x to give us 5x. I have positive 3 and negative 24 give us negative 21, so I write minus 21. And on the right side, I have 8x and x, which is 9x minus 11. And again, I want to get my x's on one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides, because I want my x's to be positive, so I'm going to bring them to the right. That gives me 4x minus 11 equals negative 21. And I'm going to add 11 to both sides. And I have negative 21 plus 11. I'm subtracting, so that's going to be 10, but I have more negatives, so that's negative 10 equals 4x. And we divide by the number that's multiplying by x. And this is where you might feel like you're doing something wrong, because 4 doesn't go into 10 evenly, but you're not doing anything wrong. This fraction is your answer, okay? Please do not use a calculator. just copy the fraction, negative 10 over 4, and then reduce it to simplest form. So simplest form means I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by whatever number goes into both of those numbers, which is 2. Simplest form is x equals negative 5 over 2. And you can leave it as an improper fraction. You do not need to change it to a mixed number. Just leave it as negative 5 over 2. So from now on, you're going to express your answers always as fractions. So the title of this spells it out for you. If you can't divide evenly at the end, always express your answer as a fraction. So please never express your answer as a decimal, okay? Do not use the calculator and convert to a decimal. And the reason is because repeating decimals are not exact. Only fractions are completely exact, okay? And the last example is where you might come across 0, and it might feel uncomfortable. It might feel like you're getting the wrong answer, but 0 is a number too. So I titled it 0 is a number too. So you'll see that in this example. If I were to distribute first, I have 4x minus 20. Bring everything else down. I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 4x can combine with 8x, and negative 20 can combine with 12. So that's going to give us 12x, and then negative 20 plus 12 is negative 8, equals 3x minus 8. Let's say I added 8 on both sides of the equation here. Then I have 12x equals 3x. And this is where you might feel like you possibly did something wrong, but you didn't. All you need to do is get your x's onto one side, and you do that by subtracting. Okay, subtract 3x on both sides, and that gives us 9x equals, and then nothing's left on the right side, but we write a number. If nothing's left, we write the number 0. And to isolate x, you would divide by 9. And again, this feels awkward. It feels like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. 0 is a number too. 0 divided by 9 is 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, so by getting an answer of x equals 0, you're saying that the number 0, if it were to replace the value of x up above, then it would give me the same answer on both sides of the equal sign. That's what that means, x equals 0. All right, so try these. Try to use these notes to help you on your homework tonight.